everyone. That's what's happening tonight. Leo new moon. It's a dark moon tonight. That means it's time for
Mm.
magic. It's
Oh
time to
yeah.
make changes.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's a beginning of a new moon cycle where we move now. The moon is going to get bigger and bigger every night, and we're moving toward the full moon. It's a lovely time to do some magic, and we are going to do some magic here tonight. Yvonne and I, and maybe the Love Witch. Oh, the Love Witch is here. You weren't here earlier, so you just rolled in
5
like a
a.m.
rock
Very
star
punctual.
right at the top of the hour. Uh, that's all right. You weren't late. You're just on time. Um, we were going to do it without you. I was totally prepared. I felt confident, but I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad all of you are here that are watching. This is our Wednesday get together. We get together. It's a thing we call Tarot for Kindness. Myself and who is in Los Angeles, I'm Madame Pamita. This is my friend Ivan Subotin, who's in Kiev and in Ukraine, Kiev in Ukraine. And we also have the Love Witch here from New York. So we are
And John Paul.
all over the globe tonight, all over the globe. The Love Witch is behind the scenes doing the real work, being the producer of our little show. And what this is, and really the stars of the show, we're just the support. The stars of the show are you guys, because what we're doing tonight is we do tarot readings for $10 per card. So you can make a donation of any amount, 10, 20, 30, 40, however many cards you want. And we will do a reading for you. I will do a reading for you. 100% of the money that you donate goes to help seniors in Ukraine to buy them groceries. This is the project of my friend Ivan, who took it upon himself, as we all can do, really, to take it upon himself to make a positive change. And so he, in Ukraine, saw that during this full-scale invasion, that there were people that were seniors who may be housebound, don't have the ability to work, who are really suffering, not having enough money for food. And so he took it upon himself to create a charity that purchases food and delivers that food to seniors. The goal is to make a delivery once a month. He delivers about 2 weeks worth of groceries, he and his little team. It's a very small grassroots organization. They deliver food to Ukrainian seniors. They aim for once a month, and that's 2 weeks supply of groceries, which can really make a difference in their lives. I mean, a huge difference. The way he's able to do that is through donations, and the donations you make tonight are going to go feed seniors today, because it's morning in Kiev. It's 5 a.m. in Kiev right now. So you guys are the real stars of the show, because without your donations, there would be no tarot reading. Without your donations, there would be no food going to these seniors. So you guys are really the muscle behind that. This is a wonderful, wonderful way to help people in Ukraine that are really struggling and suffering, and bring some light and beauty and happiness and a little bit of joy to their life, right? They're very happy when they see you, aren't they? The seniors. Aren't they happy, Yvonne?
They are extremely happy, especially since it's really hard to get donations right now. I don't know why. Maybe because this is the eve of the school is beginning and people are involved into that, or maybe it's because the Ukraine is no longer the most popular theme in local medias.
Yeah.
So the decreasing of the interest causes the decrease of donations, and right now it's not too good times, to be honest. And
Yeah.
as usual, I count on you, and I count on our streams, and thank you very much for being with us.
You guys are the best, because it's through your donations that we're able to help these seniors in Ukraine. And I can 100% tell you why it's happening. At least for us in the States, for us in the US, we have big news, lots of news all about President Trump being taken to court and all these things going on that are really about the government here. That's the number one news story. And as a unfortunate result, news in Ukraine is now, not as top of the top of the list of the news, you know. It, I think it's a it's a plus and a minus. The minus is if you're not top of the news, then people, of course, are not making the donations. They don't know what's going on. I know what's going on because I'm following a lot of Ukrainian news sources on my social media and elsewhere. But if you aren't actively seeking out that news, it's not going to be in your face. So the minus of that is that you're not having people making as many donations and so on. The plus of it is maybe there's not a big, although I've seen some big news stories, but not a huge news story that's going to push it to the top. So maybe just the unfortunate average day, which isn't a great day anyway, but an unfortunate average day isn't going to be in the front of the news. So, you know.
I would disagree with this because the situation in Ukraine worth to be in the top of the news line.
Of course.
There is nothing average here, and
I know.
we still have shelling and rocket strikes, and many of the news dead people every day, wounded people, dozens of wounded every day,
Yeah.
terrible videos. So they just don't want to show it because they have some scenario, I don't know,
Well, it's
for their
novelty.
news
If it's
line.
happening every day, then it's not something new, and so they don't put it at the top of the news. I mean, I think
Hmm.
that's really what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, there's some very unfortunate stories of people being killed. Just last week, there were two young women that were like 17, 18 years old who were singing in Zaporizhia, and then
Hmm.
within an hour of this, they were posting their videos on social media of them singing, busking, playing outside. And an hour after that video, they were struck by a bomb and killed. So this is the death doesn't stop, the attacks don't
Uh,
stop, all of
it
these
was
things don't stop.
especially painful for me because I'm a musician too, and
Yeah,
it was a
these young
terrible
girls.
feeling.
Yeah, these young girls. So just because you don't see the news or the bad news doesn't mean it's not happening. It means that it's happening, but there's nothing new about it, so they aren't posting it. However, you can be informed. You can follow Ukrainian news sources. There's tons. If you want to find some great Ukrainian news sources, go into my Instagram, which is where I get most of my news about Ukraine because it's what I'm on the most. But if you go into my Instagram and look in my people that I follow, you'll see lots of really good Ukrainian news sources. So yeah, thanks for putting that background. Love which we had our old background from our last uh, magical mystery marketplace back there. Anyway, so today we're doing readings. Readings are $10 per card. 100% of the proceeds go to feed Ukrainian seniors. You can make a donation in lots of ways. You can donate through PayPal, and there's a QR code that you can click on. If you see that QR code there, you can go there. We also have a QR code for Venmo, and you can donate there. You can comment if you are on social. If you're on the socials, of course, we stream this to Twitter. We stream it Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, whatever the name is this week. You can also find us on Facebook and, of course, on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, they do have a way that you can pay. It's a super support, super donate, super something. It looks like a little dollar sign at the bottom of the super chat. Thank you. I never remember what it is. Super chat. You can click on that and you can make your donation there. And any way you donate, we appreciate it. I also want you to know that when you donate, of course, these systems, Venmo, PayPal, and YouTube, take a portion of that money. I make up the rest of it so that your full donation gets to go in toward feeding these seniors. So we've had a couple. We've had a couple right now that have jumped in and made a donation. So first we have John Paul with a 2-card reading, and John Paul, you can go ahead and give me your question. And Adrija also has made asked a question. So John Paul says, I finished work early today and wanted to get to wine shop one last time to see your friend. When I got the shop is closed and empty, I'm feeling a sense of lament. Needing guidance through this. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well,
What is lament?
sadness, like
Mm-hmm.
really deep sadness, like crying,
Hmm.
lamenting. It's like actually lamenting is like what you do when you have a funeral. It's
Hmm.
like crying. So it's a real grief what we have. Um, so yes, so lamentations is a sadness, lamentations and crying. All right, let's see what we see. Okay. Ah, don't despair. Don't despair, John Paul. Look, we have another beautiful positive card showing up. The Two of Cups. Two of Cups shows a couple. They're toasting each other with golden goblets. They're looking into each other's eyes. There's a beautiful connection between them with that caduceus, Mercury symbol. Excuse me. And the wing lined above them. So this is a card of affection, connection. Sometimes it's even called the pledge or the promise. So what this is saying is if there were any plans that were made, any promises that were made, they're going to be fulfilled. There's another part of this, which is the, adoring look. They're toasting each other with golden goblets. This is an adoring look. This is definitely a love card, definitely a sweet, affectionate, and loving card. And this one came up before for this person and this sort of not this particular question, but in the question of this person. So when I see this, John Paul, I'm seeing this connection there. Now, next to it, we have the moon card. Now, the moon card means undefined energy. When we see the moon is like shining light down on something. We've talked about this before. The moon is shining light on something, it's going to be hard to see far ahead. So I'm guessing there's a couple of things that things are very positive, but there's no real forward motion or action being taken. It's still figuring things out. I think this card also showed up when we were asking the question about this person's job and their job situation. Remember that they were losing their job and that they had to find a new job. And so I think that may be part of the confusion that they have. They aren't thinking about work, they're thinking about their job, they're not thinking about friendships or relationships or anything like that. So as I see this, I think of this really sweet, loving energy, but just be patient, trust in it. One of the things really with the moon is you've got a path, right? There's a path to get to these blessings, these little yods that are coming down, these little flamey things that are coming down from the moon are really blessings coming down. There's a pathway up to it, but you're only going to see a few feet in front of you. And I think that's what the situation is too. You're only seeing, oh, the closed shop. Oh, I haven't heard from this person. I don't see, any clear pathway toward the goal, but you have to trust in that process to get to your blessings. You have to walk the path without being able to have a clear vision of what's ahead, and you have to trust it. This is a very esoteric thing, a very spiritual thing, to be in trust and to be in divine trust, right? I know that you're a deeply spiritual person, John Paul. And you have to trust in the whole process. Trust that your blessings are coming. Be in that place where you are knowing that it's going to turn out okay. If you are having a lot of anxiety or worry or sadness, the lamentation that you're feeling, right? If you're feeling that sadness, then remind yourself everything always works out for me, and this will work out for me too. Tell yourself that. Use it as an affirmation or a prayer because that can really transform and calm down all of that worry, right? When we're walking down a moonlit path, we don't know what's around us. There's a dog, there's a wolf, there's a little crawfish. It's a little, there's a feeling of instability or threat, but there is no threat. You can move safely through this and get to those blessings. we keep seeing this card pop up. You've got to trust in that path to get to the love that you want. And so when it's unsure like this, it requires faith, and it requires that trust, and it requires you to have the vision, even if you can't see it. Have the vision up here if you can't see it with your eyes. Okay? All right. So we have Adricha has a reading. Thank you. Hi, Adricha. Thank you, John Paul. Thank you so much for your donation.
Thank you both.
Adricha has a reading for 6 cards. Good to see you, Adricha. We've missed you. We haven't seen you the last few weeks.
We did, really.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I wasn't here last week because I was at oh no, I was here. We haven't missed anything. I'm thinking about Sunday. Yeah, I was here last week. We haven't seen Adrija in a couple of weeks. Hello, Madam and Yvonne. How are you? I made a donation of 60. I have 2 questions. So question number 1, is H serious about me? And question number 2, what is he hiding from me? Okay, let's take a look at that. So we'll do it in 3 and 3. We'll ask those 2 questions as 3 cards and 3 cards. All right, we'll do like 2 separate readings. For those of you that have just popped in, I see some new people have popped in. We're doing our Tarot for Kindness. This is tarot readings that I do for $10 per card donation. 100% of the proceeds go to feed seniors in Ukraine. $40 buys 2 weeks of groceries for a senior who might otherwise go hungry. And so Yvonne has a small grassroots organization where he purchases groceries and he buys them for seniors. And 100% of your money goes toward this, helping the seniors. So to do this, all you have to do, you can make a donation directly to Yvonne anytime. And we'll put that information up if someone wants to make a donation. And you should follow Yvonne, because if you are following him, you can find out and see the seniors that your money and your donations helped. It's such a heartwarming thing. There's Yvonne on Facebook. You can follow him there, and you can see what he's up to and all the seniors that he's helping. He always takes photos of them, and oftentimes they share some wisdom, life lessons. Very sweet. You get to know them a little bit. It's lovely. Just think about this. You could be a magical fairy spreading love and light and goodness halfway across the world to people that you may never meet. Maybe you will one day. I hope to meet some of them. I'm going to get out there and go on a trip with you to meet some of these seniors. I know it. I will, Yvonne.
This is not impossible, by the way, because one of my friends has already visited Kiev, and we had a meeting 3 days ago.
Really?
And she saw everything we do by her own eyes. And right now she's on her way back to Vienna. And I think she will describe all her feelings and impression about Ukraine very soon. And it will be very interesting to see the world by the eyes of the Western people. But what I know at the moment is that she were shocked about our work, and she said to me, "Now I 100% realize why you do this." We made shopping, we made some deliveries. I show how grannies live, and she was very impressed.
Yeah. Oh, it's such good work that you're doing. And it couldn't be done without everyone making these generous donations. So I appreciate you guys making these donations, because it makes a huge difference. And this is something I feel super passionate about, and take my evening, like I could normally be watching a movie right now or doing something else. I've worked a full day.
Yeah, now and I can normally sleep at 5 a.m.
I know, and you would normally be sleeping at 5 a.m., but this is how much we care. We make some sacrifices because it's worth making a sacrifice to help another human, someone who's in need. We can do it, right? We can do it, Yvonne. All right, let's do Adrija's reading. So can you put those questions back up for me, please, Love Witch? Thank you so much.
Is H serious about me?
Yes, you remember. Yeah. Listen, I got a lot on my mind. I'm thinking about I have a business I'm running and all kinds of things going on. I can't remember everything. So, all right, let's take the look at the first question. Is H serious about me? Okay. Ah, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a serious energy. I think there's an interesting thing. The family is the first thing that comes up. So I think the family, in particular, his family and your family, are part of the consideration. I think the family may be also influencing him and telling him, you need to settle down, you need to start your own family. So Ten of Pentacles has that kind of what I would call lineage energy because we have the grandpa over here, we've got the husband and wife, we've got the little child, we've got these blessings of this tree of life shape in these coins as well. And what we're seeing here is like, generations, right? So I think there is some influence from the family. I don't think he's against it, but I think the family is kind of the big influence for him. And so it may be that the family influence is having some influence over your relationship. Has he told his family about you? Has your family met his family? Has any of that stuff happening? And I think that's what this is about. So his family is definitely a big influence, but this isn't against that. It's just, I mean, taking it very seriously. If you're thinking about having a serious relationship leading to marriage and children and building a life together, then you want to take that question seriously. Some people meet love at first sight and they get married in Las Vegas 1 week later, and some of those relationships work out, some of them not so much. So what we're saying here is that he's taking this seriously. He is not playing around, goofing around, or just playing with you. He's seriously considering this, but he's also considering it. I think once you start to get the families involved in it, then I think it will become more serious if the families aren't involved yet. Second card is the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of overcoming obstacles to get to a certain high achievement, right? That's like the strict meaning of this card. So, what I think of when I see this card is really like there may be some kind of obstacle in the relationship or some obstacle that has to be overcome. Is it that you live long distance? Is it that there has to be, the meeting of the family? I don't think the family is resistant or your family is resistant, but there may be some obstacles that have to be overcome. When I see Seven of Wands, however, I see someone who's willing to do the work to overcome the obstacles. So I think that may be something that's happening in the background as well, is there may be some obstacles that have to be overcome for this relationship to move forward. You probably even know, Adrija, what those obstacles are that have to be overcome. So he's taking it seriously. He knows that there's some obstacles that have to be overcome. And then Eight of Pentacles is working at something to build something. So this is also a very serious card. But again, these two pentacles might feel a little on the slow side. They're earth energy. So these are never what we would consider fast decisions, fast results. They're slow and steady, but long lasting results. Just think of the energy of earth. Earth is not like the energy of air, wind blowing very quickly, or fire burning very quickly, or even water. Earth moves very slowly, right? Really slow. So I think there is a bit of like mindfulness to this relationship. I think he is taking it seriously, but he's moving slowly. But it is movement. So you might be wanting something much more quickly. You may be much more ready to go, and he has to get up to speed, but he's working on it. It's just incremental work. All right. So let's look at question number 2. I'm having some pomegranate juice. This is not wine. It's I need it. I wanted water, and we're out of bubbly water here. There's just tap water, and I don't like tap water, so I got some juice. But I'm not doing drunk readings, I promise you. It's just some juice. It's very delicious. I usually like to mix it with a little sparkling water, but like I said, we're out right now. I have to go to the grocery store. See, I'm behind on everything right now. All right, so let's look at number 2. Is what is he hiding from me? I mean, some of the things that he quote unquote might be hiding are these issues with the family, but they're not necessarily hidden. I don't know. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. So I think one of the things that's coming up, I mean, there's definitely an energy of 7 of Wands energy is that there may be something that is not being told. So you're feeling that there is something being hidden is accurate. I am picking up something very interesting from this. Are you, Adrija, being very 100% telling him everything, or are you hiding some things as well? I think the two of you might be keeping things, as we say, keeping your cards a little close to the vest, meaning you're not really, like if you're playing card game and you're going like this, you're not sharing, you don't want anyone to see. That's keeping it close to the vest, right? I think there's an equivalent part of this where you might not be sharing 100% of everything that's going on in your life, and likewise he is not sharing everything that's going on in his life. So there is a little energy of that. It, to me, I get the sense that this is to not to harm anyone. I'm not getting an energy of harm out of this, but I'm getting an energy of maybe self-protection and also wanting to not hurt the other person's feelings. So you might not be telling him something because you don't want to cause a fuss or hurt his feelings or doing that, and he may be doing the same. So I don't get a bad energy from it or a negative subterfuge or conspiracies or anything like that. But I do get there. You're absolutely right. There is some hidden information, but I think it is equivalent to what you are also hiding. Secondly, Chariot card shows up. This is often about moving. And if he's long distance, he may be planning to move closer to you or planning on making a move of some kind. And that to me is what he is hiding. Interesting. So he may not want to tell you that because he may not want to be so vulnerable, or he may be figuring it out still, or he may want to see how the relationship goes a little more before he does that, takes that step. But it's about a move. So I'm not seeing anything negative there as well. I just think he may not be sharing that information with you or revealing it to you. Third card is 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups is a card. Now, I'm not getting that there are other women that he's actively pursuing or actively dating or anything like that. However, I think there are some old relationships from the past that may have also influenced him in some way to make him more cautious, right? Maybe in the past he was really open with someone and then it came back to bite him, or he did something, he was very honest with somebody and then had his heart broken. So I think there are some issues from the past that are making him a little protective, and it's making him move a little slow with you. So it may be a failed relationship or experiences from his past that may be causing him to be a little closed off. Look at this guy. He's got his arms across his chest. That gesture is like, I'm not open, right? I'm not open to the magical cup of love that's being offered to me. I'm kind of looking at what's gone on before and thinking that's, the way it is. So I think he's maybe a little skittish, a little scared because of past relationship. Doesn't want to talk too much about what his plans are, but he is working in the background toward something. And there may be some things that need to be discovered between the two of you before it can move forward. So that's what I see.
Can
Does that
I
make sense? Yeah.
Can I add a version of mine to this?
Okay.
Adrisha, could it be that he hides his emotions or hides something else because you are too active in your relationship? Because
Yeah.
sometimes if your energy is more uh, powerful, bright, sometimes people scary, and they cannot open themselves immediately in front of this energy, and they so people are different, and you have to take into the consideration what kind of person he is, and uh, modify your appearance according to this. So
Yeah.
if he is a slow person, if he is a quiet person, you don't have to push on him. You have to maybe. Oh, my English is very poor in the mornings, but I hope that you understood the main sense of what was told.
Your English is great. Don't sell yourself short. Your English is great. Um, all right. So, for those of you that have just popped in, I see some new faces jumping in. We're doing Tarot for Kindness. Tarot for Kindness is our fundraiser for seniors in Ukraine. I do readings for $10 per card. You can make a donation over Venmo or PayPal, or if you are on YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can find the super chat at the bottom and you can make your donation there. And I will read your cards. You can ask a question. I can read your cards. It's a wonderful way to do a quick check in on something. And I would love to do it. 100% of the proceeds, nothing goes to me, nothing goes to Yvonne. It all goes to buy groceries for seniors in Ukraine who are suffering during this full scale invasion. Okay, so Ferial has a reading. Oh, John Paul. Oh, thank you, Aunt Pam. So glad to share this with you. Yeah, I just say keep the faith. Adrija says, yes, I get it. Thank you so much. You are so cute with your little upside down happy face. Yeah. Um, these things sometimes, I explain things and they make sense to you when you hear them and I describe them to you. You don't have to tell me the details about it, but you certainly, if it makes sense to you, then you go with it. All right. So Ferial says, you are welcome. My question is, what do I need to know about starting my own spiritual group and offering spellwork services in addition to my tarot readings? Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ferial. It's a wonderful, generous donation. All of you guys, wonderful and generous. John Paul, Adrija, Ferial. I think we have Jen here that's made a donation. You're coming up next, Jen. You guys are awesome. Okay, so what do I need? Thank you so much. Your donations are very greatly appreciated and wonderful. A wonderful way to connect and bring light into this world, kindness into this world. It really is tarot for kindness, 100%. Yvonne came up with that name. I said, I love it. It's absolutely what it is. All right, let's see, Ferial, what we got here for you. Okay. Oh, it's got good energy around it, Ferial, really. Um, this is wonderful. I think you're going to be very successful with this. I'll show you all the cards that we have. I want to show first one, this one, Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups, whenever I won't say every time I see an ace in a reading, but if we have a question, should I do something? Should I not do something? And we see an ace come up. I always see the aces not only as the beginning of something, a new project that you're starting, some new venture, some new endeavor of some kind, but they're also a yes from the universe. Very simple, right? A yes. An ace is a yes. When we think about, there's four aces in the tarot, as there are four aces in a regular playing card deck. The Ace of Cups represents spirituality and the emotions, love, coming from a place of love. It represents the element of water. So when we see this, I really see like if you look at this card, the water is flowing out of the cup. It's like the heart overflowing. You've got so much love to give, Ferial, so much spiritual wisdom to give. I mean, it's really about this beautiful wisdom that you have to share. And so it's about finding how you can keep that energy going. It's through starting groups or through teaching classes or through group services or whatever it is. There is something very special that you have to offer. And it is like a never ending fountain of spirituality, goodness, wisdom, love, care, and all of those things. So this is a very positive card. The universe is saying yes to your idea that you have, and really, it's time to start flowing in that direction. You don't have to do it right now. I mean, you don't have to do anything right now, but that flow, once you open it up, I think it's going to feel very good to you to do this work. I mean, you already love what you do as a reader, but I think also we have this overflowing wanting to do more, right? So it's so, so beautiful to see. Ace of Cups energy is like pure, clean. Do you think about the most pure, clean, sparkling water? It's just wonderful. It's refreshing. I think I want to think about that of like this spiritual refreshment that people will get by working with you in that way. Here's another card we have. So this is the same card, Ten of Pentacles, that showed up. I put the cards all in different places in the deck, so it's not like it was sitting on top or anything like that. But Ten of Pentacles, in context of your question, I would say is about, remember, this is about lineage, but it's, yes, I feel like I need to do it as soon as possible. And yes, I definitely need to do more, want to do more. So, Ten of Pentacles is for you about working with your ancestors. Ask for the help and blessing of your ancestors. Ancestor work is such powerful work. I already had like an ancestor practice, but as I started to learn and understand my own Slavic heritage, my own Ukrainian heritage, and as I started to learn about the ancestor worship that exists like so deeply in Slavic magic and in Ukrainian magic, it really enriched my practice. I talk about it in my book. If you have my book, Baba Yaga's Book of Witchcraft, I talk about ancestor practices. At the very last chapter, I talk about the ancestors and having ancestor altars. This can be something that if you don't already have that practice, you can do. We find ancestor worship. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I'm doing. This is confirmation. Wonderful, Ferial, wonderful. So, if you have, I think in every folk magic practice, we have some form of ancestor works. And some, of course, in some folk magic, it's very ingrained and very deep. Like if we look at some African countries and African cultures, there's a really deep ancestor worship practice. In Mexican culture, we see beautiful ofrendas being offered to those who have passed on, beautiful altars that are set up. So the idea of ancestor worship is not exclusively Slavic at all. In fact, it's pretty much all over the world. You can follow any ancestor worship practice that is, either your heritage or the practice of your own practice. You can create your own ancestor rituals. Of course, you can do that. There's lots and lots of ways. There's some great books on ancestor work that we have at my shop, by the way. So, What is Remembered Lives is a great general ancestor worship. Um, uh, Ancestors, there's another one that has ancestors in the name. Honoring Your Ancestors is another one. Badass Ancestors is another one. So we've got these great books if you want a place to begin working with ancestors, but you sounds like you're already doing it and you know what you're doing, so you're in good shape. So definitely call on the ancestors for their assistance. They want to help. That card is showing it because they want to help. Now, Seven of Wands shows up, and Seven of Wands is a card about overcoming obstacles. So there may be some obstacles that are either within yourself or something that's out there. Maybe it's learning something new or creating something, or it's having the courage to step up into this. Whatever those obstacles are, this is a card that says you're going to overcome those obstacles, no doubt. I like to think, there's a game that kids used to play when I was little. I don't know if kids play it anymore or if they play it in other countries, but we used to have a game when I was growing up called King of the Hill. King of the Hills, you had a little hill or something that the kids would get up on top, and one kid would be on top, and your job was to try and get that kid off of the hill, and you would be the king of the hill. It was a very rough game, by the way. Probably lots of scrapes and crying at the end of that game because there was lots of rough and tumble. Definitely, I was definitely a tomboy, I was playing this rough and tumble games. So King of the Hill, I always think of King of the Hill, the game, when I see this, because this guy is on top of this kind of mountain, and there's these supposedly these people holding sticks down below. You just see the sticks, you don't see the people. So it's like people who are trying to knock him off his perch, but he's able to fend them off with his stick, right? He's ably doing it. There's no real threat to him. He's in an advantageous place. So I think about whatever obstacles you're facing, just know that you have the drive, the motivation, and the courage to overcome those obstacles and get to the top. Oh, I have an ancestor altar and I did my heritage DNA test. I'm waiting for the results. I'll take your past life workshop as well. That's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful. Really wonderful way to work. So good. All right, so here's what I see here. King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles energy says, also 10 of Pentacles energy. It says that money will follow this, and money flowing very easily to you. Both of these cards are very positive in terms of money. When I see King of Pentacles, I think of you being in a leadership role. This is going to bring you money. This is going to enrich you, and well-deserved riches. You're working very hard and you're being of service and doing all of these things. And so don't be afraid to charge for these things. Not everything has to be free. I do a lot of free things, but I also do things that I charge money for. And so you can take a page from that book, offer some free things, but have some paid things, as well. And so this is very, very good. And I love to see the community that you build. The Six of Wands. Six of Wands is the card of victory, right? So this is another success card. So you've got lots of good energy around this. Everything is very positive. What I see with Six of Wands is like you have community, just like this guy here is surrounded by these supporters around him. You're in a leadership role. You're going to be successful, and you're going to have people around you who are very happy to be part of your community, the community that you build. So I love it. All in all, it's a great reading. Is that 6 cards? Did you pay for 6 or 5? I can't remember.
For now,
oh, you're 5. Yeah, that's 5.
You have shown 5 cards.
Yeah. Yep, that's 5. We did it. I knew there was 6, but it was Adrija that was 6. So, okay. So there you go. All wonderful cards. I love this reading. It is screaming encouragement. 100%. It's like, you got this, girl. And it's good. I mean, it's like everything that you want. Community, deeply spiritual, financially successful. I mean, it's everything there. So, yeah. Wonderful.
And I have to add that this question is very important to Ferial. Definitely, because she lives in England and it's 3:40 a.m. in England right now. So the fact that she is awake means a lot.
Yeah, you really make sacrifices to be at this event and the other events that I hold in the evening. It really is something very, very special. Burial, I'm glad you're here. All right, so we have another one with Jen. Jen, you want to get your question? I set some important intentions on this new moon, looking for some guidance to help them manifest. Oh, I love it. Okay. For the rest of you, if you'd like a reading, this is called Tarot for Kindness. We are doing tarot readings for $10 per card, 100% of the proceeds. You can donate through Venmo, PayPal, or Super Chat if you're in YouTube. That's the little button below that looks like a dollar bill below the chat. If you want to make a donation of $10 will give you 1 card reading, 20 2-card reading, 30 a 3-card reading, and so on. We've had some wonderful, generous people donating today. It's so wonderful. Thank you so much for your generous donations. It makes a big difference. We're able to help seniors. We're able to, Yvonne's able to fulfill his promise to these seniors because of your generous donations. And I hope that you follow Yvonne. Let's put Yvonne's link up there on Facebook. Go follow Yvonne and let him know that you're one of the people that donated and add him on Facebook. That's Yvonne and his beautiful wife, Yulia, the red haired witch, right?
Yeah, she's a witch.
Not officially, but she does magic for sure. Yes, she's really sweet and wonderful. And you can see some of his personal life living in Kiev with his cute little son, Danny, who's a super genius, great kid, super kind child, really good kid. Follow all his.
And if you friend me on Facebook, I will have an opportunity to tag you in my graduated post,
Yes.
so your generosity will be visible for others.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see. And it's wonderful to see the seniors that you helped and get see their photos and see a little bit of their backstory and the wisdom they have to share. All right. So Jen, so if you'd like to participate, you can do it. Just go on to Venmo or PayPal or Super Chat and you can make a donation and you can get a reading too from me. I'd love to do a reading for you. Okay, Jen's question. I set some important intentions on this new moon and I'm looking for some guidance to help them manifest. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh, good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Also, quite positive in this reading. So, the first card I pulled up is a strength card. So, strength card is almost like, you got this, girl. You know, this is like a card that's really saying it's going to take you and probably you alone to manifest this thing, but you can do it. One of the things that we see with the strength card, this is a major arcana card. It's a powerful, important card, right? It shows, when we think of the word strength, if you didn't know anything about tarot and I asked you, picture in your mind strength, you might picture, I don't know, bodybuilder guy or somebody moving something big and heavy or somebody, in a fight or something else, right? Um, what you probably wouldn't picture is a woman in a white gown with flowers on her hair, and it's like a V-neck in her hair. I just noticed that. I just thought about that. And flowers around her waist. You probably wouldn't picture that, but look at her. And look at her face. She's very peaceful, very gentle, very loving expression on her face. What is she doing? She's closing the lion's mouth with her hands. That lion is like, yes, ma'am, I will close my mouth, right? So there's this energy here. You might even think about lion when you think of strength, right? You might even think of a lion when you think of strength, strong animals, elephant, big animals, right? But the woman is being very gentle and she's gently closing the lion's mouth. This is a version of strength that we don't often see. It's gentle, it's grounded, and it's strong. It's really strong. It's like, I don't have to show off. I don't have to make a scary face or a mean face or get angry. I can be strong and I can be gentle at the same time. I think of this card sometimes as like single moms. Single moms have to do it all themselves. That's the strength card. You have to do it all yourself. But they're able to do it with love, right? They have to be both parents to a child if they're a single mom. So it's about really showing that love, but also being grounded and sure of yourself, confident, and do it with kindness. Show strength with kindness. Something really good. So when I see this for you, Jen, I think of this also being a very entrepreneurial sort of card, entrepreneur energy. She's doing it all herself, right? She's running her business herself, or she's raising her family herself, or anything like that. So when we think of this energy, it's like you have the power to manifest this wish that you want. You're going to pull that strength and that confidence from within yourself to get the job done. Nobody is going to give it to you. Nobody's going to cast a spell on you to give it to you. Nobody's going to give you a magic potion that gives it to you. It's got to come from within you. Nobody's going to do it for you. You've got to do it. and you have what it takes to do it. You have what it takes to do it. All right, next card. Again, a very grounded card. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles, she's got this big gold coin in her hand. She's got all these flowers above her and flowers around her feet, fruits and flowers everywhere. It's like this really bountiful energy, right? Lovely growth. There's even a little bunny rabbit in the corner there. Fertility, growth. I think almost like she's looking at that coin like a baby, like a little baby, you know, lots of love, right? So, literally, this can mean having material abundance, having wealth or money or whatever it is you need financially or materially to get whatever it is that you're wanting. So that's a good sign of that what you're manifesting requires money. It's a very good sign. There's another aspect of this card though. I think of her as being very generous, right? She's got so much beautiful abundance around her, all those plants and bunnies and water flowing and everything looks, she's almost very similar to the Empress card, a lot of abundance around her. She's got enough to share. So, what this says is that being generous, sharing with others is going to feed your manifestation. What does that look like? You don't have to cling to something very tightly. You can give some of it away. And when you give some of it away, it'll come back to you. It's so sweet. It's so wonderful. All right. The next card, victory and success. Again, we have our Six of Wands showing up. So this is a card of victory. It's also a card of community, right? He's not riding in on his own. He's got a little parade with him of other folks that are saying, you did a good job. So there's a public aspect to what you're manifesting. There's definitely an aspect of it that it will benefit others. And there's this lovely energy of success around this. So this is a very good card saying your manifestation will be successful. Lastly, so I would say, last thing I would say about this too is get your community around you. Let others know what you're doing or what you're planning as it's appropriate. You share it with the appropriate people. But let's get community also supporting your endeavor or supporting your wish. Last one is the Six of Cups. Six of Cups shows a little boy who's giving a little girl a golden goblet with a flower in it. It's a very loving and very open-hearted card. It's a card that sometimes represents children, child energy. It can be like a childlike quality. I often see this card showing up in relationships where there's a genuine honesty between the people, whoever it is. It could be a romantic relationship, a friend relationship, family relationship, whatever. But there's a genuine love there that's very much from the heart. You know how little kids love one another when two little kids that are friends get together and they see each other on the street, they run toward each other and they hug each other and they're so happy to see each other. Do you watch those videos on your social media? I love those videos of little kids hugging each other. It is the most honest, genuine, real thing emotionally you will ever see. A little kid isn't worried about being cool. A little kid isn't wondering, do they like me or do they just open up, right? So I think of this being like those videos of the little kids opening their hearts so fully. So a part of this is going to open your heart. A part of this is about approaching it in a genuine, childlike honesty, really coming from the heart and being genuine in your emotions and sharing those positive, loving emotions from the heart as well. So, however, you can do that in your manifestation, let it be, make it happen, open up your heart to receive as well as give. That's the other thing there too, as well. So, there you have it, Jen. Does that make sense in the context of what you're working on? Let me know in the chat. All right, or not the chat, whatever it is, the comments. I'm used to being on Zoom, talking about the Zoom terminology. All right, so we're doing what's called Tarot for Kindness. It's a tarot reading fundraiser for seniors in Ukraine. It's me, Madame Pamita, my friend Yvonne, who's in Kyiv, Ukraine, the capital of Ukraine. Crescedic Street Boulevard, right? Isn't
Well,
that
we
the big
live not
street?
too far from
Not
this
too
street,
far? Oh, really?
about maybe 1 mile.
Wow, that's really close. That's like the big street in the center of Kiev. Um, and then my friend, the Love Witch, is also here in the background doing the production work, all and helping me, being my external hard drive of my brain, telling me it's called Super Chat and all the things that I need to know, and getting your messages to me, of course, and sharing those. I want to share something before we get started. Oh my gosh, Jen says I've been pulling Six of Cups all month long. I've been tapping into my inner child. This whole reading really resonated. Oh, I'm so glad. I mean, it's really positive. So whatever you're working on, it's going to come through. It really is very, very open. Receive that manifestation with an open heart. That's a wonderful thing to do. I want to share something with you guys. If you would like to get a reading, you can go ahead and make a donation through PayPal, Venmo, or Super Chat. If you're in YouTube, it's a little button at the bottom that looks like a dollar sign at the bottom of the comments or chat. But while we're waiting to see if anybody else wants to make a donation, we have a special surprise for you guys, which is Yvonne has made another amazing music video. This one's like hard metal, really emotional. It's a good one. I talk about the last song that you played was a very positive one about, helping and how we're helping, doing what we need to do, the work that we need to do to help others who are in need, and our hearts are really leading. This song is a little bit, I want to say, maybe a little more, what would you call it? Like deeply,
It's definitely darker, and I have to explain something about it. Uh, so if actually I have the description of the song on my new YouTube channel.
okay. Okay,
If
great.
you want to read it, you can go there at
I'll
Silent
do that.
Shelters.
So
Yeah,
here's,
but I have to tell you that if my previous song described the bright side
yeah.
of the human's nature, this song describes the opposite side, and this is why it's much heavier, it's darker, and it fully reflects my emotions about what is going on in humanity in general. Yeah, so it's not too easy uh, to take it, but it should be heavy to express my feelings to the fullest, and in particular and in general, I am an avid listener of heavy music during all my life, and I always dreamed to record some heavy stuff. And at last, I have an opportunity to do this
Yeah.
because I
Well,
have some new software, and at last, my guitar it sounds as it should be.
I think that one of the things that we were talking about this before, um, and I was saying, you're experiencing trauma, and this would be like the shadow side, that if we're experiencing trauma, it's not healthy. It's not healthy to be sad all the time or angry all the time, but nor is it healthy to be happy all the time. We have to see the shadow side, see the dark side of what is going on in our emotions and work through it. And so this is a wonderful, really good, constructive way to work through it. This song can touch someone else's heart who's also experiencing a very deep and heavy, hard and difficult emotion. You know what I'm saying? To understand,
Absolutely. And when I release something like this, it makes my jar of negative and traumatic energy more empty.
exactly. So I think of it as being a very healthy thing to express. It's when we don't, when we have these uncomfortable emotions and we don't express them and we just put them down, that's when they can really cause the most harm, because either we are then a time bomb that's going to explode right at some point, or or it destroys us. Stress that is unresolved can be very destructive for our health. So, all right, well, let's take a look at this. I'm going to try and see if I can make it big. Let's see, can I make it big? No. Do you want to take down the donate through PayPal and see if that for right now? Thank you. And this is where you can find Yvonne's music. Oops, YouTube, but we'll play this now. I'm going to take out my headphones so you can. And then let's start at the beginning. Okay. And there's words underneath, so you can see that, the subtitle, so you can understand the lyrics. All right.
Storm that's shaking your little tree and your eyes are wells of fear. Was sent to this land to make it clear. Stop digging your graves. Don't you forget who we are and why are we. Close your eyes and feel the weight of close your eyes and feel the weight of the snips of the shadows. Come on, your instincts are stronger than your mind, and each of us is an animal with an ancient time bomb inside. You think you're special, but will you wallow in the mud with a poor? Will you give him your last piece of bread? Or your last breath? Killed for money, killed for food, killed for a woman, suppress the wind. Every day we strive for power and domination. Civilized in you, it's just a mask. The rituals are created, but hell they change you. We are the same we were 10,000 years ago. Close your eyes and feel the weight of the snips of the shadows. Close your eyes and feel the weight of the snips of the shadows.
There it is.
Whoops.
You can see what music I was listening to. Happy music before. That's why it came up. Love Witch is laughing. Talking about. Oh, Love Witch is laughing at because we were talking about that band Hazy Fantasy. That's what came up next a few days ago. Anyway, that song, it's just so emotional because it's showing. I mean, it's showing that people haven't changed over 10,000 years, that people are still fighting wars. And I think for me, it's like the expression, what I think for us who are in the States, when the full scale invasion happened in Ukraine, we were like, there was shock because we thought this kind of behavior ended with Hitler. This is what we thought. Once Hitler was defeated, this, kind of behavior of going into a country and invading, well, US has done it too. But we thought this kind of behavior was really, we progressed beyond that. And now we're seeing, this unbelievable somebody decides they want to take land, it's mine, kind of thing. So, and that's what you're experiencing. So you're expressing that.
Yeah, I had to do this. It really made my life easier. After I shared my emotions with others, even if some of them don't like the song, I don't care about this. I just wrote it for myself, to distract myself a little about what is going on with humanity in general. This is not the song only about Ukraine. This is the song about the general problems of humanity. And in fact, I named it Ancient Gods. And by Ancient Gods, I mean our instincts, our ancient genetic program, which is sometimes useful. For example, in critical situations, our instincts, when they reign, they really help us. But more often, they prevent us to be human in the global sense of this word.
Yeah. Yeah. And really seeing the thing that we saw with the Six of Cups energy, that true heart opening to another human being. We start, I think there's another message too with your song, which is that there's so many problems in the world. There's so many problems in the world. That's not just war. It's all kinds of things. How some people have billions of dollars and other people are starving or homeless or living on the street, and nothing is being done. And we're seeing, like in the States here, we see the injustice of that. Los Angeles, one of the most expensive places in the States to live, certainly up there. We have horrible poverty here as well, and people feel dull to it or don't know what to do about it. Helpless too sometimes to stop it. So the Barbie movie though
All
has a
the
good
problems
message
of
about
the
that.
world are hidden inside of us.
Oh, John Paul says, Yvonne, your song and B
Thank
had a
you, John
very
Paul.
powerful message. Very beautiful. Well, if you get a chance to see the Barbie movie, it has a good message. I just saw it
Actually,
yesterday.
I don't like pink color, to be honest.
Oh,
There is too much of pink color
oh
there, I
my
believe.
God. Oh my God. Don't even go there. Well, this movie has a very powerful message. And in the end, I'm not going to give a spoiler if you haven't seen it yet, but in the end, there's one message that's in there, which is you can look at a really problematic situation that feels like everybody around you is crazy. And you can go, what can I do about it? But she steps up and they do step up. A few people step up and they do something about it. So you can't solve all the problems. That's for sure. You can't solve all the problems, but you can solve a problem you have the power to solve the problems. The people have the power to solve the problems. And you just have to get activated and gather together and move forward. Like we're gathering. We're a small group. You have a small group. I have a small group. We all have a small group of people that are donating, but we're making a difference, right? And if enough people do a thing, there could be big differences, So Oh my gosh. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. It was so wonderful. Let's see what our total is for tonight. We've got
At the moment is 170.
170. We've got 170. That will be 4.25 grannies, right?
Yeah.
That's better than last week, right? We had 4 last week. Thank you so much, you guys, for your generous donation. Thank you, Yvonne, for getting up early and meeting with us here and sharing your beautiful talent and your music and doing your beautiful work of feeding those adorable senior citizens. They're so cute, those grannies and grandpas. They are absolutely adorable. Really, really cute. We appreciate you and your hard work, and we're glad to help.
Thank you guys very much, and don't forget to spread the word about our activity because our power is in unity.
Yeah.
Neither you nor neither me nor every of you can make it by himself. So this is the work for a community, and the more people will know about this, the more granny we can cover. There is still so much work to do. At the moment, there is about 200 people on our list, and we have so much more new requests, but we just cannot afford ourselves to accept them because it means that the intervals for others will be stretched, and this is not appropriate because we have to get the food to them once a month for sure. Otherwise, and we had a sad experience. Grannies become very hungry, and they call us every day. Their refrigerators are empty without any crisp of bread inside. So we have to do this once a month, and at the moment I cannot extend the number of grannies because I can barely secure the results we have at the moment. So the more people, the more compassionate people will know about this, the more abilities it gives to us.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing such beautiful work. You're spreading light. And you guys, all of your donations are beautiful, sparkly light in these seniors' lives. So thank you so much for your donations. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Love Witch. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you next week at the same time on X, Twitter X, whatever it is, Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you here at the same time for readings, Tarot for Kindness. I hope you join us again. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week, you guys. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.